Hello everybody, we lead very busy lives, lots of us multitasking, but the problem with that is it leaves many of us feeling anxious, stressed and maybe not even able to sleep. Today I want to tell you my biggest tip that I use for prioritization, and frankly that is to avoid multitasking. But let's get into it. First, how do I prioritize my tasks? Well, typically most of us have maybe one or two very big tasks and then lots and lots of little small tasks. It's very tempting to always try and solve the biggest task. For me, I don't do that. My objective at any given moment is to close as many tasks as possible. I only really ever want one thing open at a time. Not always possible to achieve, but the way in which I start my day is close as many of those small tasks as possible, whether it be at work, family, cleaning the house, whatever. Why is that? Well, there's an effect called the Zeigarnik effect. That basically is a way in which our mind works, which is unfinished tasks that are unclosed, we will keep on thinking about it, keep on coming back to it. It's always in our consciousness. That's how our short-term memory works. What that means is that the more tasks you have open, the more stuff is crowding at the front of your brain, nagging you that you haven't done it. It may not even be conscious. It may just be something that's always like eating away at you. This, for many people, I observe, is a huge problem. It means they can never truly switch off because they have just too many things open at a given time. Their brain is too crowded with all of this anxiety and thoughts. That's why I like to lead what I call a very clean life. I close stuff down quickly. My bigger tasks, I can close them down quickly by separating them into lots of smaller tasks, which I'll list out. When I start one of those tasks, I close that smaller subtask. And that even means that in a big project or a big thing to do, it's not always coming back to haunt me. That's how I prioritize, and that's how I can always remain just one task at a time, because even the big tasks, I chop up. However, we can also use this Zeigarnik effect to our advantage, because the fact that a big task or an unclosed task keeps on coming back into your consciousness is actually a very good way of helping you remember facts and solving problems. So it's actually more profitable to take your most important tasks and have them solved over a period of days, because then they keep on coming back in your consciousness. Your brain is constantly working on them, rather than your mind space being took up by lots of little small rubbishy tasks where you do not need your full intellectual power to solve. This way, I can utilize the Zeigarnik effect first as a shield, because I know I need to close all these tasks quickly, but also as a sword to attack my most important problems and ensure that my most important problems are always on my mind, and I can solve them over a period of several days for higher quality. This, by the way, for those of you who are students, is why it is much better to approach revision or studying in small blocks over periods of weeks or months rather than have a single cram session, because your brain over a period of several weeks will keep on turning over the problem and improve your memory. If you want to memorize something, don't have one big session. Have lots of little sessions spaced over several days. The same principle is true in work, in life. Important tasks, subdivide them into small, keep them in your mind. Unimportant tasks, get them closed down as soon as possible and avoid multitasking for a peaceful life.